So the first thing we're gonna do in this hip complex is get into a shin box. So heel, knee makes a box, and we are going to take our same side as the lead knee, elbow down. So my left knee's forward, elbow down is the left as well. I wanna make sure my ribs aren't sagging or too high pulled up. I wanna have everything nice and centered here. So belt buckle, sternum, bridge of the nose, straight line, perpendicular to a nicely positioned pelvis. The first movement, I'm gonna grab my upper hand on my upper hip, kind of above the hip on the pelvis itself. I'm gonna lift as high as I can here without feeling the hip go back in space. I also might notice that on this side, I'm more forward or backward than I am on the other side. I wanna monitor that. Make sure that each hip is straight down to the floor, not shooting diagonally this way or diagonally that way. So stacked hips in this position. Now I'm not moving here, good stack of the ribs, head back. I'm gonna do 10 very slow lifts and lowers, and at the top I'm gonna go a little further if I can without moving the hip, like that. And I wanna feel the dimple of my butt cheek or the side glute here. After I do 10 lifts and lowers, making sure I'm breathing, not holding my breath, pushing it a little bit at the end range, I'm going to hold the 10th one up for 5 low, slow nasal inhales. And I might cramp in here, and if I do, just shake it out and return. I'm gonna really try to burn these muscles up and let these muscles go. Maybe on the exhale I push further. If it gets closer to cramp, set it down, lift this up, get that cramp out of there, punch around on there, smack it a little bit, get that cramp out of there, go back, finish your 5 breaths. Lots of muscular control here if you can manage, lots of muscular tension if you can manage, and then we slowly lower that knee down so that we kind of shake on the way down. So that's part 1. You can come out of the side and kind of stretch this side, give it a little breather, move around a little bit and some hinging. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do another 10 this time. Everything's the same setup wise from the waist up, but I'm gonna lift to the heel as high as I can off the floor. Knee stays down on the ground. I might even pin that knee down with a little bit of force. And I'm gonna do 10 lifts, 10 lowers. On the 10th lift, I'm gonna hold again and do a 5 breath hold. At the top, imagine someone was pushing me down here. I'm fighting them this way, not moving here, ribs up. Every exhale, maybe I push this heel higher up to the ceiling or to the front of the room. If I cramp, shake it out. A little cramp there, so I'm gonna move in the opposite direction. If you cramp in one of these, do the other one to get out of the cramp. One more breath. Really try to fire these inner thighs, not here. This leg is silent and quiet. And I let it down really fast. Let yours down very, very slow. Shake that out, wiggle around a little bit. Same side. I'm gonna do all of them on the same side, and then you can restart the video and do it on the other side. So this is all with my left leg forward. At the end of this video, start it over and do your right leg forward and just switch left and rights verbally. Now, I'm gonna keep this foot connected to this leg. I'm gonna lift this hip as high to the ceiling as I can without disturbing the position of my pelvis and keeping my ribs in good position. You can breathe however feels comfortable with the lifts. And we're gonna do 10 lifts and lowers. And on the 10th lift, we've gone as far as we can, so each lift might go a little further. Really watch this. Feel that inner thigh and groin muscle on this left inner thigh. On the 10th one, hold it up, 5 breaths. Every exhale, imagine someone's pushing you down to the ground, you're fighting them back up. Throat back, head back. Don't want to be slouching here. We'll pause at the end of the exhale, start getting lightheaded. And slowly come down. I came out kind of fast on all those. Really emphasize how slow you come down, so you go so slow that you vibrate on the way down. That's important. All right, the last two variations have weight. We're gonna put a towel on this knee, kettlebell on that knee as well. I'm gonna hold this out with a straight arm, keep my ribs up. Now I'm gonna have to keep this pelvis in the right position. I won't be able to monitor it, so I have to be kind of use my interoception or my mind-body connection to get in there. I'm gonna do 5 lifts with a 3 to 5 breath hold and a slow lower if possible. It'll be harder to slowly lower, but we'll try. Gonna have to do a little bit of a balancing act here at the kettlebell. We'll pause at the top. Might have to adjust this as I go. In that case, I'll just do so. I'm also kind of pushing the kettlebell down into my knee to steady it. If it feels kind of slippery or wonky. And this 5th one, I'm gonna keep it up, check all my points. 3 to 5 breaths. I'm gonna burn out way before 3. Any amount is fine. I'm gonna slowly come down on that 3rd. I got a 20-pound kettlebell here. I would recommend 5 to 25 pounds. I wouldn't go much higher than that. It's not really necessary, and you can kind of use your muscles to do the rest. If you want it to be heavier, you just simply push down harder into the kettlebell, into the knee. So I'm gonna do this side now. Get everything nice and snug. And I'm gonna do my 5 and hold. Checking all my ribs and pelvic points. On this one, there might be a point where you go too high with the knee that you start to feel some tightness, some bad pain, or stabbing or pinching in the left hip or the down hip. Don't go that high. Just really focus on frying your inner thigh of this leg, and try not to go so far that you experience any discomfort or pain. 3 breath hold on every exhale. I'm gonna push it higher. If it's pain-free, check the ribs and slowly lower. Whew. So, restart the video and do that all over again. And then when you're done with both sides, you'll let the second time go through to this point and continue. So if you're on your last side, keep the video playing, and we're gonna do our last movement in this series. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, foam roller right above the knees, not touching the ground, but not touching the groin. Toes tucked under the hips. I'm gonna show this view first. We're gonna lift the knees just 2 inches off the ground, touch one to the floor without wagging the tail or twisting the block for foam roller. So we're doing a crank shaft or a shimmy here. 2 inches down, and bring this knee 2 inches up like I'm sucking the hip up into my pelvis. Again, I don't want to see this wagging of the tail. We want to see, if I was in a very narrow hallway, I stay inside that narrow hallway. I'm squeezing the foam roller just a little more than necessary to keep it in place. I'm not doing 100% tension. We're gonna do 3 rounds to failure. So do this until you absolutely can't hold the position anymore. Keep your back flat, not arched or overly rounded. Nice and neutral, or whatever feels comfortable around neutral. Low, slow nasal inhales here. Slightly audible exhales here. 3 rounds to failure. Keep pushing how long you can do that before you burn up and have to tap out. And you can add reps to the shin box stuff as well. That is my hip workout for the day. I'll see you guys next time.